Welcome. Good afternoon, friends and neighbors. This is Faisal Hassan. You're a member provincial parliament. You're a member provincial parliament for York Southwestern. And thank you for those of you who are joining us from Twitter and Facebook and also Instagram and YouTube. Welcome again. I'm your member provincial parliament, Faisal Hassan, welcoming you again another Saturday to speak to you about the important issues of the week. Welcome, and those who are joining us, also Facebook and also Instagram and Twitter. I'll try my best to answer your questions and also to include also your comments. Before I start, I wish to acknowledge at this time the land that we now know as York Southwestern is a traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuits, and Métis peoples. Welcome, neighbors and friends. You're joining Faisal Hassan, your member provincial parliament, Faisal Hassan NDP Instagram, Faisal Hassan NDP Twitter, and Faisal Hassan NDP my page and also YouTube. Welcome. And today I just want to give you quickly about what's happening in the neighborhood with regard to the vaccine pop-ups right here at Weston on 23 George Street at the St. John the Evangelist Catholic School is also hosting by the Western Women's College Hospital and Unison right here at the 23 George Street. So tonight it will be open until 7 p.m. So the line is light. So please, if you are listening or if you know someone who hasn't gotten their vaccines, please let them know quickly. And also at the Community Place Hub at 1765, also until 5 p.m. today, with the also thanks to the West Park Healthcare Center team and the Community Place Hub at 1765 also is open to serve for pop-up this afternoon. And so that's where these updates and also again with all our postal codes, you could just show up and hopefully you'll get your vaccines this afternoon. With the Women's College Hospital, it will go until 7 p.m. this evening, and that is at 23 George Street. If you are not sure where George Street is, you can come on Western Road of then King and then George, or through Church and then Church to George as well. So that's also how you can get off Western Road there. And another thing I think is also important, also a lot of appointments I was told is available on Monday, May 10th at the St. Fidelis Catholic Church at 33 Coney Street. So they are opening up to also our other postal codes in our community, and also wanting also to make sure that you get an appointment, secure an appointment there. To do that, you have to send though an email, and the email is getmyfac@gmail.com. I'll spell it for you. get myfax@gmail.com. So getmyvax@gmail.com. Send an email quickly and get your appointment there. They'll be able to assist you and also confirm an appointment for you. And that is also very important, folks. Make sure that you get that appointment there. Folks who are joining us on Facebook, welcome, folks. And also today, I want to talk about a couple of this week's big celebrations that happen in our community, and that is also at the Canadian Mental Health Awareness Week. Also, We know that in the middle of the pandemic, we are already in the middle of the pandemic, and this has been going on since last year, March, and to really make sure that, folks get support and that we also create awareness of mental health is very important. So it was this week also Mental Health Awareness Week. Also, it was also this week Red Dress Day, a National Day of Awareness for missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, to remember as well was, and it's very important that we remember them, those murdered Indigenous women and girls. And also, it was also this week also started MS Awareness Month, and to take an action as well. And also Education Week also was this week as well. So May started, and this week was also celebrated also Education Week. And we know our teachers are working very hard. They're contributing so much in our community. And this government, Ford Conservatives, have cut education funding, and they also fired 10,000 teachers, and now they're trying to erode our education. We want to strengthen our public education. So Education Week is very important to remember parents and teachers and also our children, to make sure that public education is there for them, and that also we invest public education, because it has been said that nations that invest public education do well. And that's why we have doing well in terms of having a highly educated. But the challenge, a lot of people are now having barriers to a higher education as well. So we need to make sure education is there, especially a public education for our teachers. And we must thank also our teachers who are doing a fantastic job in our community. Well, thank you. And those were also celebrations of this week that was happening. And also another thing I want to also mention this afternoon is that also the new upcoming newly elected leader of Labour, Toronto York Regional Labour, have elected Sister Andrea Babington, the newly elected president. I want to congratulate her, and I look forward to working with her and the Toronto and York Labour leaders to make and put the Labour issues front and center. Because we know workers in our community, frontline workers, still do not have basic days. They cannot take off time to get their vaccines, and losing wages, and at the same time, they might working also shift times. So giving workers basic days is very important. And as you know, my colleague from London West, Becky Sattler, have also sponsored a bill, stay home if you're sick. And these are important to give workers 14 days of basic days. And I'm happy to work with the labor movement and labor leaders, the important issues that the labor is also is struggling as well. And those are very important. Frank, welcome. Ayan, welcome. Nasra, welcome. Ivan, welcome. And Ivan says, hello, Faisal. And welcome, folks. Qamar, welcome. And also Frank, also welcome. And says, May is also a multiple sclerosis awareness month. Yes, that is also MS awareness month. And that's very important. And welcome that, folks. It's very important that we create an awareness. And also, folks, we know childcare is a big issue in our community, and families have been struggling. Childcare is unaffordable. It has been unaffordable for quite some time, for a long period of time. And the Liberals had 15 years to do it right in childcare. And we have been fighting. My leader, Andrea Horvath, and the entire official opposition have been fighting this 2018 also on our platform. Wayne Liberals have also, did not support it, childcare that we proposed. And again, folks, an NDP government will implement $10 per day universal, high quality, not-for-profit childcare system. And you have seen the Liberal leader, Stephen Del Duca, talking about childcare. Stephen Del Duca and the Wayne Liberals had 15 years to make childcare affordable. They chose not to, folks. In fact, Del Duca and the Wayne government jacked up the price of childcare again and again until it was the highest in the country. And that's their record. And even in 2018, Kathleen Wynne Liberals have also opposed our proposal. You can check for yourself, folks, on our platform and what Kathleen Wynne said about that then. And Del Duca was also part of that team as well. He was a minister and part of the Kathleen Wynne candidates at the time. So their record is very clear. And we want to make sure childcare is affordable. And the Liberals had, folks, 15 years to get it right, and they did not. And I don't think they will be able to do it again. When you have given 15 years to do something and you don't do the important issues of especially childcare for young families and many families, especially York South-Western, then we know what we need to do. We need an NDP government that implements immediately $10 per day, universal, high quality, and not-for-profit childcare system. And that's what we need, and that's what will deliver an NDP government headed by Andrea Horwath and also being part of that NDP team. We will do that, and we'll correct these failures from the Liberals and the Conservatives. And Ford Conservatives also has no solution to childcare issues as well. And we have seen that about that. Nasra, welcome. And also, folks, this week, also the government passed on another opportunity to move swiftly to institute Stay Home If You Are Sick Act, which I talked about earlier. My colleague from London West, Peggy Sattler, have proposed, and that has not been implemented. And it's very important that we make sure that we support 14 days of paid sick days for workers in Ontario. That's what they need, and we don't have to worry about worried about being worried about if they're sick and they are coming to work. Then that also creates problems for their colleagues getting also sick as well. So we need to make sure that this government supports 14 days paid sick days, a robust sick pay paid sick days, a plan that will seriously crop workplace infections. And if a worker is sick and that worker goes to work, most likely that worker will be affecting his or her colleagues at the workplace. And that also creates spread of the infectious, and also the COVID. And frontline workers also are also asked as essential workers to take the buses. Our buses are overcrowded, and also we need also to make sure also have a permanent vaccine facility, which we don't have at the moment. Welcome, Ismail, also, we don't have at the moment. And also to make sure that also the government saying that we have 3 days of paid sick days is inadequate and not good enough. And it is a temporary, folks. A plan was met with universal disappointment. And you've spoke loud and clear. And we've said that implement the bill that my colleague Peggy Sattler has put at London West at the legislature, which we have proudly supported, because it will give workers what they need, 14 days of paid sick days. And also that way they would not be worried about if they got sick to stay home. And we have been asking people, if you're sick, stay home. And this is very important. And this also, folks who have been universally disappointed, included folks from the sign table as well, including Dr. Abdul Adil Stamin Brown, who acknowledged that the government's plan will not do enough to curb infections. I will continue to support, folks, the Stay Home If You Are Sick Act, which guarantees permanent paid sick days, plus 14 government-funded paid sick days during a pandemic or infectious disease emergency. This is very clear. We need that support now, and we need it now, folks, to be supported. Ashley, welcome as well. And it's very important that this government listens to workers. Well, if you are listening, 3 days is not adequate. It's not adequate, and it's not good enough. And this is what also the universal disappointment of the entire community and the experts have spoken about it. And we need to make sure that workers get basic days that are adequate, and that is actually not temporary, but that's a permanent basis. And that's what an NDP government will put first and foremost, front and center, to make sure that workers and everybody of our members of our community are listened and supported. And this government hasn't been listening to science tables and also to doctors, as you know. Welcome, folks who are joining Instagram, and those also who are joining Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You're joining Faisal Hassan, NDP. I come to you every Saturday from 3 to listen to your concerns and answer also your questions. Also, folks, I know it's still Ramadan Mubarak, folks, who are also joining us, who are also fasting. And I know this will be the last Saturday that is going to be a Ramadan, and hopefully, Eid probably will be Thursday or Wednesday, and looking forward to celebrating with you as well at the Eid al-Fitr that comes soon. But hopefully, you'll be hearing from me as well. And Adam, welcome. And Frank says quickly, I will just take some of the comments quickly, folks that have joined. I'll also take the folks' comments from Facebook and also Instagram quickly. And Frank says, as a long-time resident of York Southwestern, I am proud and honored to be represented by Faisal Hassan. For over 20 years, Faisal has been fighting for working people, the homeless, tenants, the environment, the unemployed, and many other causes. As you may be aware, an election is looming next year in 2022 to elect an NDP government to get the things that matter to us done. As we continue to fight Doug Ford and his regime of austerity, we cannot do it without you. And you can read his comments thereon. And thank you, Frank, and each and everyone who have continuously supported me and my also leader, Andrea Horvat. And I won't be taking your vote for granted. Unlike other farmer representatives, I will work hard day in and day out to earn your trust and confidence, to make sure that I'm your representative and serving the interests of the community and the interests of all residents of York Southwestern. And I'll continue to fight. As you know, this community have been neglected the last 15 years, and continue at the moment. We are fighting day in and day out to get a permanent vaccine location in our community. To this day, we don't have. This week, we had a couple of pop-ups. I don't know the next week if we're going to have them. That's why we need a permanent vaccine locations in our community. And I'll fight to continue to fight to bring, to also make sure folks who want their vaccines can get it in our community. Well, thank you, Ivan. Ivan says, I will vote NDP. Well, thank you, Ivan, for your support, and we'll continue to work with you and make sure that we work with you to earn your trust and confidence continuously. And Ivan, we won't take your vote for granted. I know that. We will make sure to work with you to continuously earn your trust and confidence. I'll turn quickly, folks, on Instagram, and here Domenico says, Faisal Hassan, NDP, you need to talk about what Darkford government is doing to the teachers and parents. I'm very proud that you are our MPP, Dominic says. Well, thank you, Dominic. Thank you for your continued support, Dominic. Yes, this week also, Dominicum is also Education Week, and education is very important. And this government, as you know, we need them to respect and work with teachers, parents, and students. And they have cut, as you know, they have fired 10,000 and cut funding for education. We want smaller class sizes. We want to invest. We want to make sure the public education is there. You know, we don't want to privatize our public schools. We want those resources is there. And also the issue of the online is a big issue. You know, a lot of families do not have a strong internet, and many of them don't even have laptops or you know, equipments for their kids to join or to connect online. So it's not a viable option at the moment. Maybe for some people they are, but not for every parent. That's why we need to invest education to make sure that teachers and parents and students are working together, and this government is working with them to provide the resources they need. And as you know, many in our community, schools like St. Bernard Catholic School are still waiting for a gym for young people to congregate, to have also a physical education, etc., etc. I know that the minister have said he's looking into this to help and work with us in our community. We urge him, this is important. We wanted it to be implemented immediately to support our school, especially the St. Bernard Catholic School, which has been promised for a gym, which they don't have to this day. And we want that to be supported as well, and support also teachers, and also to invest also, repairs of schools that are old, you know, that need to be also supported. Also, Domenico, we want also schools, as we know that we have learned the story of the Nelson Boyle, the public school wants sometimes, if the schools it's surplus, they want to sell it to the highest bidder, sometimes developers. And we need these schools in our community. So we don't want schools being sold to private corporations, because these schools are needed. For example, the Nelson Boyle, the Catholic school needed it. It was a struggle to get that school. Finally, with the previous minister, have been very cooperative getting that school done. And now that school is in the hands of the Catholic school. And we are happy that in our community, this school remains in the hands of the Catholic education. And that's, I'm happy to get that results for our community. But the system is not working for many communities like ours. We don't want any schools being even entertained, being sold to, even if they becomes a surplus. We want those schools to remain in the community. So if the Catholic needs it, then they can have it. If the Catholic schools, then the public needs it, then the public can have it. If not, then the community can use it as a community hub where young people could be trained for other skills and could congregate to use those facilities as recreational sport activities and other things that are highly needed in our community. And that's, I think, that's the kind of a different vision, Domenico, we need to put education a priority. And as you know, the Liberals had 15 years to do it right. They let us down again and again. We need an NDP government to make these things right and to invest education, Domenico. Definitely, you can count on me supporting and advocating on behalf of our community to bring more resources for our schools. And also hospitals is also another issue, Dominic, that we're having problems. We used to have 2 hospitals, and those hospitals are now moved. One of them now is Humber River Hospital, which was on Church Street, has been built a new hospital right there at the York Center. Our neighboring riding, and the other hospital on Ingram and Kill is now coming up a lot of condos, and new developments there. But the community needs a hospital. We need a hospital. It's not enough, and that's why I think it's very important that we can't simply ask our people to go other hospitals, faraway hospitals, and that's another thing we need to get this government to support us. Perhaps rather than the Liberal government, get rid of our hospitals. They just said that those hospitals are going to be combined into one. But we know that other communities are using our hospital, and the priority is really half of our hospital, but not the whole our community. So we need a specific hospital devoted to our community, and those resources is needed to build. And definitely we need to advocate that and to have a hospital as well in our community. We can rebuild 200 Church Street to create, a new hospital. Why not? That's another thing we need to talk about, Dominic, and to advocate for the coming months and years to realize our community, we need more hospitals. Of course, we have Westpac Healthcare Center. It is also a fantastic, but it's also a specialized hospital, a very specialized hospital, and that also serves the entire province in some cases, and that's great to have it as well. Dominic says, I'm very happy that you are talking about this. Definitely, we will talk about this more, Dominic, and make sure also we bring some results to this as well. And we will support our teachers because they're doing a fantastic job. We'll work with the unions because they are representing teachers, and they have been, raising concerns about this government, Domenico. And I have been on the picket lines with them. At Chaminade School and also many schools in our community here in York Southwest. So thank you for that question. And welcome, folks, those who are joining us, Faisal Hassan, NDP, Facebook, Twitter, and also Instagram and YouTube. Another thing, folks, I wanted to talk to you about is the issues of small businesses in our community. And we know the small businesses continue to struggle in our community. And I'm hearing from more and more of them expressing disappointment with the government, the small business support grant program. And many of you have written to me about that the programs is not working for you and it's not accessible because automatically rejection letters have been sent. And many of you, we are trying to navigate to connect the ministry to get results for you, but this program is not working. Many members of our community, and we need to send a strong message to this government to do it right, to make it simple, and also to provide the most these small businesses in our community, but also in other communities that need help on support for small businesses. And we know that small businesses are in the heart of our community. They are doing and hiring and contributing significant. Some of you have been here for many years, like our beloved bookstore here that our friend Suri runs it. It is over close to 92 years now, or 94, I believe, close to that has been operating in our community. There are businesses like that we need to support. And we know this government has been focusing big corporations, big stores and big corporations. Some of them are, multinational corporations, and they don't contribute to our community and support our community. We need also to always remember, folks, to shop locally and support our small businesses. They are struggling. But also we want this small business support grant that this government has put forward to benefit the community and to make it simple and to not reject people who are already qualified, and we need that to be addressed immediately. And I'll be happy to also bring this to the small businesses minister and also the minister of the also small businesses as well, and the other ministers, which is I think the minister of economic renovation, I believe. Many haven't heard back from the ministry concerning their applications, and others are being declined, often for illegitimate reasons. So they're declining illegitimate reasons, they qualify, but they have been just rejected. And this need to be fixed immediately. This government has promised to have the backs of small businesses, small business owners, but they have fallen far short of that commitment. So they are letting small businesses, down again and again. And we need to support our small businesses. And NDP government will put a priority: job creation, jobs, and also investment for our community, for creativity, also ways of creativity, to also put our young people into the workplace and into jobs. And you know that also 2019, February 28, I have sponsored a motion which I've asked the government to create 27,000 positions of internships, co-ops, and placements for young people. And young people have been asked, when they graduate, experience. And we have talked about this many weeks and months about how are they going to gain experience if young people don't have the opportunity for experience while they are in school, such as internships, placements, and co-ops. So this will give young people an opportunity to have a paid positions and paid internships, not only those who are in colleges and universities, but those who are also recent graduates, but also those who are not in school. So we can also provide them skilled trades, partnering with unions and private sector to make sure that young people have that opportunity for being a carpenter or hands-on skilled trades, that we can also provide them paid positions until they're able to get into the system. And that's another way also putting our young people to work. And this government talks about supporting young people, and they haven't done so. They haven't, even though they supported this motion, it has supported by all members of the legislature, but it hasn't put resources needed. And that is also another challenge. And we need to make sure that is supported and that we put to our people to work. An NDP government will have an economic recovery plan, and also putting young people to work and also providing them experience while they are in universities and colleges. Because of that, because education and work go hand in hand. Young people are learning theoretical aspects of it, but also we have to provide them the practical paid positions, internships and placements, because a lot of young people cannot work for free. And I think this is what also young people have asked. They have asked this government, and they have asked me also as your official opposition's youth opportunities critic. And I'm happy to work with you to make sure that also we focus jobs, we focus also opportunities, and make sure that we tackle the barriers that young people have, and that is also the lack of investment in the root causes of many problems, and that is also the neglect, folks, that the 15 years that that Dalton McGuinty and Kathleen Wynne had in the Ontario legislature. And look around. They have represented this community with nothing to show for. There's no legacy, nothing. They have taken this community for granted. And that has to change, folks. And an NDP government will change that. We will not take for granted. We will earn your trust. We will work day in and day out to make sure we serve you, and you are the boss and we are the servant, to working for you and putting your interests at the heart and front and center. And an NDP government will just do that. And the program of a small business program, folks, is full of barriers at the moment and has simply added more stress to the lives of anxious business owners who have worried about the withering of their businesses. And this is also a problem that we have encountered again and again. And if you are encountering folks and you own small businesses and you're having problems about your application being rejected and it's not working for you, you have similar situations like that, please reach me out to my office and reach out. You can write to me fhassan-co@ndp.on.ca. You can also phone Faisal Hassan. You can also phone 416-243-7984. And that is 416-243-7984. And also you can email me at fhassan-co@ndp.on.ca. And remember, folks, this afternoon, the COVID-19 vaccination pop-up is happening. And folks from the Women's College Hospital and UNISOM in the heart of our community at Jain Hub, they are here at the St. John the Evangelist. That school is really right here in the heart of Weston, and it's open tonight. It will open until 3 p.m. So folks, go there. It's a light line, but it moves quickly. Get your vaccines. All our postal codes can get their vaccines. M6L, M9N, M6M, M6N. You can go there and get your vaccines there until 7 p.m. tonight. And Munira Abukar, welcome. And also Alvaro, welcome. And also make sure, folks, and also I'll see the Western West Park Healthcare Center also, with partnership with the Community Hub place. They're also offering pop-up at the 1765 Weston Road at the Community Hub, Community Place, right here in Weston and Lawrence. So that too will be closing around 5 p.m. this afternoon, but the Women College Hospital will be open until 7 p.m. tonight. So you have those options today, and we don't know what's going to happen next week. I'll be able to report that later to make sure that we know where it's happening the next week, so that our community can join us. Hey, Hawa, welcome. Hawa Mire just joined Instagram, and shout out to Hawa Mire, our federal NDP candidate. Welcome, joining us Instagram. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, folks, for joining us also Twitter, YouTube, and also Facebook as well. And thank you, Alvaro, as well. So, folks, that was very important that we remember that we support our small businesses. Please, shop locally, support our small businesses as well. And hey, hi, How says, hi, Faisal and York Southwestern. She's saying to you folks, hi to folks of York Southwestern, and that is Hawa Mire. Well, follow her, folks, if you haven't done so. And Hawa Mire, a great friend and also a great neighbor. She actually went to Nelson Boyle High School, a high school which the Catholic schools, with the public school said it's a surplus, and they wanted to sell it to the highest bidder, in this case, private corporations, developers, and my intervention. And with the help with the farmer minister, we were able to secure and get that school in our community. And now the Catholic school is now using that, and we're happy to make sure that we bring to an end this idea of selling our schools. If Catholic schools don't need them, and if the public schools do not need them, we need these schools in our community, because we can use that for other skill building for our young people. We can use those facilities for sports, because we don't have many recreational centers in our community. And this will be an idea of a community hub where those schools can be used for the benefit of the community, not selling to the highest bidder, because already we have invested in our money and it has been there for the community for years and years. And so we have to change that culture of selling our schools to developers. And definitely is something I'm in favor. Every single school in our community that is a surplus should stay in the community. If the Catholic school doesn't need it, if the public school does not need it, the community needs it. And the community will use it. Our NGOs can serve the community. They can use that. Our community youth organizations can use and help the young people. And this is also a community asset and hub we need to stay in the community. So I was just talking about that because Hawa, who's our federal NDP candidate, just joined us, and she also graduated from Nelson Boyle, a great school on Falstaff, folks there. And well, folks who are joining us this afternoon, welcome. You're joining Faisal Hassan, NDP, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. And I'll join you every Saturday from 3 to 4 to make sure that I'm accessible to you and I can hear also your comments and your concerns and the important issues of this week. It's very important that that we also connect. So another thing I think I will mention to you folks is that I think it is the folks from St. Fidelis Catholic Church at 33 Coney Street is hosting Monday. Monday is May 10th. They're hosting a pop-up. And this pop-up, you have to send an email in order to secure an appointment. And you can send it, getmyfax@gmail.com. And I spell it again, getmyvax@gmail.com. So if you live in our community, regardless of your postal code, just email them and they will secure for you an appointment. And that is also, and we thank them, those volunteers who've actually come together to a leadership to connect, to organize, to deliver also a pop-up for our community at also the St. Fidelis Catholic Church at 33 Coney Street. And that is also, it's happening Monday. They will be able to tell you the time. Simply send them an email and they will be happy to also confirm with you the time. And also the location is 33 Coney Street. So take advantage also, that's Monday. And I don't think there is going to be any pop-ups next week in our community. All the pop-ups are going to be outside of our community. And if that's the case, this is why we need a permanent vaccine location in our community. We cannot send our community outside of our community, and that's unacceptable. And anyone who suggests to our community should be going outside of our community, that's not viable solution. That's why we need a permanent vaccine facility or location right here in York Southwestern. We thank UNISOM and Women's College Hospital for their fantastic work for the last 4 days, for really serving our community, and other folks who have come, neighboring ridings also, to come to us to get also their vaccines in this week. And that's very important. So make sure you send an email, getmyfax@gmail.com. And that is St. Fidelis Catholic Church at 33 Coney. They are, you have to first send an email to them. And that's Monday. So if you are available and you're not working and you have some time, just shoot them an email, getmyfax@gmail.com. So that's GETMYVAX@gmail.com. And welcome Alyssa too. And that is also important that you folks send them an email and to confirm an appointment on Monday at 10th. And I know that also folks who are also have registered also for the food bank, and also folks who have also been delivering food and things like that also are getting also their vaccines, and hopefully that will be also this week as well. The food banks as well, and those who are really delivering so much work, volunteering and trying to help folks in our community. And that's also something it's coming this week as well in our community. I'll be able to share with you on Monday on that, okay? As we are gathering some details of that as well. So again, I thank you for joining me this afternoon. Faisal Hassan, NDP, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at the same time, so that we can also connect you to hear all these platforms at the same time. So you can connect me every Saturday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. to hear your concerns. And the challenges still exist, folks, with the roll out of vaccine in our community. And this is why I have been talking again and again that we need a permanent vaccine facility in our community, since we have been termed as hotspots and high-risk community. We have all seen the images of long lines and heard the frustrations with provincial booking system. And there is still an opportunity to charter a path that serves our community and gets vaccine in the arms of everyone who wants it, who wants them in our community. The sooner we can correct these issues, the sooner we can extract ourselves from the devastating lockdowns imposed by this government. We owe it to our community, frontline heroes, and struggling small businesses to get this right. And I know the only way we can to do it right is to achieve this, to involve the community in the discussion. So bringing the community discussion is very important. And this Thursday, folks, I had a town hall meeting this Thursday where many of you who have joined us, who had a solid ideas about also making sure accessible languages in the community, since we have a diverse community and there are many members of our community whom are not getting the information, and getting to them that information, the best way and method is also discussed. You also talked about having a permanent vaccine location in our community, which we lack at the moment. And that's also very important. I welcome Faisal Abdurrahman for joining me this afternoon. Okay, thanks, he says. I encourage you to keep up the good work, friends. Well, thank you, Faisal, for joining us, and thank you for your encouragement. We'll continue to advocate in our community. As you know, we have become an afterthought. You know, this is also the result of the neglect of the Liberals and under the Dalton McGuinty and Cutland Wynne. And now we have 3 years of Ford Conservatives. Still, every day, we are fighting for resources for our community. And this is a shame. Honestly, to this day, we don't have a permanent vaccine location in our community. Why is that? You know, they could do it. And that way, the community, because they work shift hours, you know, people could then easily book or show up and get their vaccines easily because they know it's open every day. So right now, we are relying on pop-ups. We don't know if they're going to be in our community the next week. If they are not in our community, then they have to go the neighboring ridings. And a lot of folks might not be able to go. And that's discouraging them to actually get their vaccines. We want to bring to the community right here in York Southwestern. And today we have a pop-up at 2 locations. One is at the 23 George Street at the St. John the Evangelist Catholic School, which is a great school. And folks, if you are around, the line is not, it's a light line, but if you're on the line, you will get your vaccine. It's going to be open until 7 p.m. tonight. So go there and get your vaccine. Also, on the thanks to the West Park Hospital, West Park Healthcare Center, and the Community Hub are partnering together right here at 1765 Western Road. So it's also open until today. It will be open another hour, probably until 5. So take advantage of that as well, folks. But the Women's College Hospital and the Unisom at the Jane Hub Unisom, they are open until 7 p.m. tonight. So take advantage of that as well. Well, welcome, folks. And also here, Domenico says, in June, parents have to vote if they want to have their children in school or online without any teachers. Do you, as a parent, think what Darkford government is doing is correct or not? Exactly. Well, we want the parents' opinions there, Domenico. It's very good. And I think what this government is doing, Domenico, is cut education. They have slashed, they have fired 10,000 teachers who have been doing a fantastic job. They haven't invested repairs in schools. And we need investment in education. It's not, this government is simply trying to erode our public education, and we need to save our education. And we need to stand up to this government. My leader, Andrew Horvath, and the entire official opposition and myself are standing up, Domenico, every day to save this province, to save our education, to save our economy, and to save the safety and the health of our communities. As you know, they have been reckless. They have not been listening to the experts and also the science table. So this is also very important that we have an NDP government in next election. We have seen the last 15 years a Liberal government and Dr. McGuinty and Kathleen Wynne, but we need to make sure that we save Ontario. And that's how we're going to do it, to make sure this province is on the right track, not the same old ways of really making things difficult for the people. And that's also important fight we're going to do to save education. And we know also the record of the Liberals in this case in education as well. You know, in the last 15 years, it's very clear. You can check it for yourself as well. And so you hear, folks, Dominic is saying that you will be having a surveys to do that complete soon. Well, thank you, Domenico, for sharing that. Those who are joining us, Instagram and YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, welcome. And I have also placed a great deal of effort into addressing the disparities faced by our community. Only be turned away by the government. They have been too slow to respond to a variety of issues during this pandemic. One of those issues in the need for a permanent vaccine location here in our community. It took 7 months to get a permanent testing center, COVID testing center in our community. That was a struggle. It took from March 13 to September 28 of last year to have a COVID testing center in our community. And now, to this day, we don't have a permanent testing vaccine, a permanent vaccine location in our community. And that's not right, folks. We can do better. Absolutely, we can do much better than this. Too many people are having to choose between long lineups or longer commutes just to get access to the vaccines. As an identified hotspots, this must change. This must change, and we need to have a permanent vaccine location in our community. I look forward to your participation, to hear your concerns as well, to also send your questions as well, and also write to me if you have any concerns at Faisal Hassan co@ndp.on.ca. You can also phone me at 416-243-7984. Well, thank you for joining me, folks. And here, meet me at the crossroads. Folks are saying good afternoon. Good afternoon to you as well. And thank you for joining this afternoon. Thank you for joining this afternoon as well. Those who are joining us Instagram, and those also who are joining us also on the YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, welcome. And I'll take also quickly to read if you have any, just read your comments. If there's any comments or any questions, I only have another 5 minutes on my time, but definitely this week we had many events to celebrate. Next week, definitely it will be a big celebration and feast of the Muslim community. And I'll be happy to join you folks to celebrate Eid al-Fitr, each and every one of you. And Ramadan Mubarak, folks. I know today, Saturday, will be the last Saturday of Ramadan. Next Saturday will not be a Ramadan, for sure. And happy to also celebrate with you either Wednesday or Thursday. Quickly, meet me at the crossroads says, where are the pop-ups location in Weston? This is a very good question. Today, the pop-ups are 23 George Street. That is St. George the Evangelist School, and that's the Catholic school right here in Weston. You know, when you are on Weston Road, turn right on King, and then turn left on George. And right there is opposite of A.H. Alexandra Public School. So it's right there in the heart of the community. And if you also coming, if you passed King, then you can turn Church Street, and you can turn Church Street right, and then also George Street again right. And right there, you'll be able to see the school and the crowd there. That's one location today. And they are also accepting all our postal codes, so M6L, M9N, NMM, and M6N. So that's also postal codes they're also accepting. The other location today, until 5 o'clock, there'll be 1 hour, I suppose, you have, and that is the Community Hub, 1765 Western Road. That is the Community Place Hub in our community. And there, it's happening with the partnership of the West Park Healthcare Center and the Community Hub. And today it will be open until 5 p.m. And next week, Monday, I think there are some, I think the folks from the St. Fidelis community, they're organizing an appointment. Volunteers have get together, and they have successfully secured a pop-up at the St. Fidelis Catholic Church at 33 Coney Street. And there, what you can do is you have to send an email to secure an appointment. And the email is getmyfax@gmail.com. And that is get, GETMYVAX @gmail.com. You just send them an email. They will tell you the time, the appointment, and the time it starts on Monday. Okay, so that they could also make sure how many vaccines they could plan to do on that day. Okay, which will be a Monday, May 10th in the afternoon. And quickly here, I think that's Espadina Fort York, folks. NDP folks have joined. Welcome, folks, for joining us this afternoon. Keep up the good work, they say. Work that you do, Faisal Hassan, NDP. Well, thank you. I know you have one of the most hardworking member of provincial parliament, my friend and colleague, Chris Glover, who has been also a farmer school trustee. So you are in a good hands. Keep working with him. And thank you for joining this afternoon. And quickly here on Instagram, also Hanu says, what to ask? Why want to vaccine kids 12 and above, yet they said 18 and below would not get the vaccines. So that's a comment. And here says, want to ask, sorry for this type error. And there we go. I don't know. I think that's a question we will put to a health expert in that regard. And so far, here it's 18 and above. Folks can go today at St. John the Evangelist at 23 George Street. And that is right there in our community. And also 1765 Western Road, the Community Hub. I want to thank West Park Healthcare Center and also a Community Hub, Community Place Center for the work they're doing right here in our community, and also Women College Hospital, and also Unison Jain Hub, who are also this week have been very busy, giving us at least 4 days of pop-up and many members of our community taking advantage. And that's the need. It tells us that we need more pop-ups and permanent vaccine location. Well, folks, this week I'm going to the legislature and I'm going to ask the government these questions and more to provide us answers for our community, why they cannot give us a permanent vaccine location in our community. Well, until then, folks, I know I've come to my time is up. It's 4 p.m. in the afternoon. I want to thank folks who have joined this afternoon. Anita, welcome, and thank you for joining me this afternoon. Hopefully you'll join me early next week at 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Every week I join you from 3 to 4 to talk to you the important issues. And also I thank Meet Me at the Crossroads says thank you for all of your support. Well, thank you for your continued support as well. And I will not take for your support for granted. I will work day in and day out to earn your trust and confidence continuously. And NDP government will work with you, we will listen to you, and we will make sure together we will able to deliver the problems and issues that have been created the last 15 years and the last 3 years, and now this last 3 years of this government. Until then, folks, we'll have more to talk next week, to talk about the issues of next week. Definitely, on Thursday, definitely I'll be able to have an opportunity to say to you, Eid al-Fitri and a happy Eid Mubarak, it's happening. But also I'll say now, a happy Ramadan Mubarak. Still we are in Ramadan, and hopefully as soon it's either Thursday or Wednesday, I'll be looking forward to talking and celebrating together next week with you. Until then, folks, thank you. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Keep, making a social distancing, and take advantage, folks. These pop-ups today, 23 George Street is really is light line. So if you are at home doing nothing, go there and get your vaccine there. Okay. The same thing also. Go there until 5 p.m. Within 1 hour you have with the community place hub at 1765 Western Road. And email also with the email I provided to you with the folks from St. Fidelis Catholic School at the 33 Coney to get an appointment on Monday, May 10th. Until then, folks, thank you and have a wonderful afternoon.